Welcome, everyone. This is Alicia Tone again, and together with Teresa and Stacy, we're going to welcome a very special guest from American Express, Susanna, today to share her very outstanding and inspiring stories to all of us. I'm going to pass it to Teresa. Hi, Teresa. It's on you.
Thanks, Alicia. Alicia, COO, Great Place to Work, Greater China. Thank you for that lovely welcome to everyone. We're glad to have everybody here with us today. My name is Teresa Norton. I'm the founder of StarMaker, which I facilitate workshops and do senior executive coaching along with my son, who's my business partner. And with us today, we have Dr. Stacy Lee Ford, who is with the University of Hong Kong, and her research is around leadership, gender, and generation. And we have a very warm welcome for Susanna Lee from American Express, Managing Director, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and General Manager, Insurance Asia for American Express. It's great to have you with us, and thank you for sharing this amazing story. I'm going to use a tool again that was created for storytelling by a friend and colleague of mine, Ken Adams. And if you don't mind, I'll just begin. Once there was a young woman named Susanna Lee who joined American Express back in 1987. And over the years, she took up a variety of management positions across different Asia Pacific markets. And every day, as she worked with people from different walks of life, her appreciation of the importance of inclusion and diversity blossomed. Susanna began to see a direct connection between an inclusive, diverse workplace and the cultivation of creativity and innovation. She saw that happy colleagues can bring happy customers. Until one day, Susanna, who now held quite a senior position, was sitting in a senior leadership meeting discussing the ways that innovation was changing how business around the globe attracted and engaged and developed talent. An idea hit her. Instead of senior management prescribing activities to engage and support colleagues, why not have talent on all levels identify what engaged them and where they needed support for themselves? And because of that, Susanna worked with the HR head to quantify the relationship between leadership, employee engagement, and business outcomes. And because of that, she became confident that the answer was to create an engagement platform that spanned across the Hong Kong operation, with cross-functional work streams to develop engagement programs and activities for the employees and by the employees. And because of that, she knew she'd have to get the senior leaders who traditionally concentrated on their own businesses and expertise to broaden their focus and make resources available to support this company-wide effort by listening and supporting diversity and inclusion for all. Until finally, the senior leadership team aligned to sponsor the initiative because they all shared the same belief that ownership and collaboration would ultimately lead to success. And so, confident that happy colleagues can bring happy customers, Susanna and her team established the Market Colleague Plan in American Express Hong Kong in 2014. And today, there are 11 work streams with over 100 colleagues driving the initiatives. And despite the pandemic, they digitized and delivered over 40 events for over 2,000 colleagues. That sounds like a happily ever after story to me if I've ever heard one, Susanna. Fantastic. And I just have a couple of questions if I can run by you.
Sure.
If you don't mind, thinking back over your career, can you share some early examples of the benefits of your having built trusting relationships in the workplace?
Sure, Teresa. At American Express, one of our corporate values is win as a team. So building a trusting relationship will help us in building a high-performing team. Trust builds communications. Effective communication will help us in facilitating the exchange of views, thoughts, and ideas among teams and build collaborations. And two-way communication is also very important to ensure that the people, their voice are heard regardless of level, gender, and background, and they feel respected and valued as well. Trust also helps and boosts productivity. So if the people, they feel valued and respected, they will rise to the challenge, and they will also go over and beyond. Look at the Market College Plan you just mentioned. We empower the people to own the program and drive the execution on that. You can see that the number of programs that people put together, the quality of the program, not only they deliver, but really exceeding the expectations. Trust also helps us to improve employee satisfactions. At American Express, we empower the people to own the day-to-day responsibilities. They own the program, they drive the execution, they also make decisions as well, as long as they believe that the program is good for the business and good for the customers. We also ensure that they understand that and they know that they have the backing for American Express. The very strong of a trust level and as well as the high employee engagement has been truly reflected in the Great Place to Work Trust Index and as well as our internal employee satisfaction survey results. Building a trusting relationship will help us to build a high-performing team, and that will translate into a high and sustainable business growth results. At American Express, we believe in value chain. Happy colleagues will have happy customers and happy shareholders.
Fantastic. Look, Susanna, if you could share with us, please, some practical day-to-day actions that team leaders who may be watching this can take to build a happier, more inclusive environment for all. Could you share that with us?
Sure. At American Express, we are committed in building a culture where people feel valued and respected. We are committed in building a safe environment where people feel engaged and at the same time welcoming as well. To American Express, building an inclusive organizations or cultures is not a checklist. It's something that we're committed to do on an ongoing basis. Let me share with you some examples. Flexibility. Look at the current COVID-19 situations. American Express responded to it very quickly. We enable the people to work from home. We believe that it is important that we allow flexibility in how, when, and where people work. It is important that in times like this, we need to provide backing to the people so that they are able to balance their personal and professional obligations. It is also important for the leaders to regularly reach out to our people to know how they're doing, but not what they're doing, and how we're able to provide support to our people as well. It is also important that we need to show appreciations to the team as well. The second very important point is that we need to have an open and candid communications to our team members. We should have an open door policy, welcome suggestions, ideas, and thoughts from a team. Encourage the people to freely express their views and thoughts, regardless of level and background. We should work together as a team to review plans and goals, see what's working, what's not working, how we're able to work together and improve on it. Last but not least is be open-minded and challenge the status quo. Look at the current situations. Everybody is living under new normals. So there is no playbook. We need to create our own playbook. We need to learn and adjust from it. We should encourage our people to challenge the status quo, leaders to be open-minded, embrace new ideas, and everyone should learn from one another. Last but not least is focusing on the controllable, adding agility with flexibility.
Wow. I tell you, I listened to this and I think this is everything that every business report I've read is encouraging organizations to do. It's really about cultivating a growth mindset in your people. Fantastic. I'm going to hand over to Dr. Stacy Lee Ford. Stacy, I know that you were very excited after you had a chance to see the story spine and hear a little bit about Susanna's background. What comes up for you?
A lot of things. First of all, this story really has a spine, and the spine is Susanna's. Her story, we could actually teach her story as a case study in my Gender, Generation, and Leadership course. So often when we talk about diversity and inclusion, unfortunately, we end up talking about window dressing. And although companies oftentimes have the best of intentions, they oftentimes don't have the commitment or the long-term perspective, but clearly in this case, Susanna brings that to American Express. More importantly, as you listen to her talk, you hear terms like empowerment, but also engagement and trust. These personal relationships that end up having massive impact on organizations are not easily cultivated. And Susanna speaks about all of this with ease, but I can promise you, as somebody who has lived in Hong Kong herself since 1993, Susanna's career has sort of tracked many changes, not just in Hong Kong, but in diversity and inclusion, as well as in the world of finance. So in so many ways, what she reminds us of is that the work of diversity and inclusion is hard work. It takes long-term commitment. And although we now know that this sort of work is good for the bottom line, we've made the business case for D&I, we are now moving into a moment where we need to keep doing this work because it is the right thing to do. And I have no doubt that Susanna will continue to make that case as well. So a pleasure to actually hold forth on this case a bit.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. I tell you what, it's like leading from the top, right? That shadow of a leader example, but also drawing from within the entire organization. It's not dictated, it's actually a very collaborative effort. It's fabulous. I'm going to hand over to Alicia Tung, COO, Great Place to Work, Greater China, to wrap this up by telling us just why, as if it wasn't already obvious, American Express is a wonderful workplace for women.
Well, I think one thing that most of people wouldn't see, despite we are so inspired from Susanna's sharing, a lot of people cannot see what is actually happening inside of this organization. And as a privileged person, that I'm able to actually view their best practices for women and for the entire employee groups, I have to say they are really walking the talk. Their value is not putting on a poster and hanging on the wall. Their values are lived by everyone, particularly some of the role models like leadership roles, to show to the people how much they are committed. And I think this is the most important reason why they can create such a trusted and engaged working environment. For example, just now, Susanna mentioned a few keywords that really catch my ears. Firstly, she mentioned about win culture. It's in their value, and you know what? It's also in their practice. They have a win program, Women Interest Network. And what is that for? To support career women and also mothers at workplace. So they actually provide not only physical support, for example, all of the keywords like flexible working hours, very quick reactions to uncertainties, but as well, they are caring about the families, the children, if they need in summer, some extra hours, the parents, for example, after maternity leave, what about the parental leave? They actually are very well thought in all of this supporting system behind what we can see. And that actually, in my personal experience, truly create a lasting working culture that is positive, engaged, and trusted. They also have a very impressive program that I personally feel very good to recommend, that is so-called On My Development. And I'm impressive because it's actually a whole series of development programs that is as long as like in 3 years. It's a journey to offer all kinds of seminar, workshops, coaching, one-on-one chat, or speeches in their organization, inviting internal, external, or global leadership to share their personal experience. How do they overcome some challenges at all stages in life to become who they are today, successful, but also happy, with a good family support and company support. So I have to say, reading all of these stories, I am true believing American Express is definitely a best workplaces for everyone. Congratulations, Susanna and American Express.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Susanna, so much for sharing your story with us. Dr. Ford, for being with us and always chiming in with some really wonderful insights about how important it is within the structure of an organization to not just talk the talk, but actually being the change that you want to see, right? And dear Alicia Tung, it's always a pleasure to work with you and our best practice partners at Great Place to Work. We'd like to thank you for watching this series. It has been fascinating to me. You know, go out there, write your own stories about how you can create best workplaces for women in your own organizations. And with that, we bid you adieu.
We'll be seeing each other again very soon. And thank you all. And cheer for ladies. Go for it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.